Kevin had always found solace in long drives at night. The open road and the quiet darkness brought him a sense of peace amidst the chaos of everyday life. One fateful evening, as he embarked on another night drive, he had no idea that he was about to experience something beyond his worst nightmares. The moon hung high in the sky, casting an eerie glow on the desolate road ahead. Kevin's grip tightened on the steering wheel as a chill ran down his spine, a feeling of unease settling in the pit of his stomach. He couldn't shake the sensation that he was being watched, that something sinister lurked in the shadows. As he continued down the winding road, his headlights illuminating the path, he caught a glimpse of a figure standing on the side of the road. A cold shiver coursed through him as he slowed down, curiosity and caution warring within him. The figure appeared to be a young woman, her face obscured by long, disheveled hair. Against his better judgment, Kevin decided to stop and offer her assistance. The woman approached the car slowly, her eyes cast downward, refusing to meet his gaze. Her presence felt suffocating, a sense of foreboding filling the air. "Are you okay?" Kevin asked, his voice trembling slightly. The woman's voice was barely a whisper as she replied, I need a ride. Please." Kevin hesitated for a moment, torn between his instinctual fear and a desire to help. Ultimately, compassion won over, and he unlocked the car doors, allowing her inside. As soon as she settled into the passenger seat, a deep unease settled upon him. They drove in silence, the only sound being the soft hum of the engine. The woman, named Sarah, seemed distant and withdrawn, her eyes darting nervously from side to side. Kevin tried to engage her in conversation, but she would only give vague, evasive answers. The road stretched on, the darkness seemingly swallowing them whole. Kevin's heart raced, the weight of an impending terror settling heavily upon him. And then, without warning, Sarah let out a blood-curdling scream. Startled, Kevin swerved the car to the side of the road, panic gripping his every nerve. He turned to Sarah, but she was frozen in terror, her eyes fixed on something outside the car. Following her gaze, he felt his blood turn to ice. A figure, tall and hunched, stood just beyond the reach of the headlights. Its eyes glowed with an otherworldly intensity, a malevolence emanating from its very being. Before Kevin could react, the figure lunged at the car, its inhuman speed and strength sending tremors through him. With adrenaline surging through his veins, Kevin hit the gas pedal, the tires screeching as the car accelerated. He glanced in the rearview mirror, only to see the figure receding into the darkness. A haunting image burned into his memory. Breathing heavily, Kevin realized that he had narrowly escaped a nightmarish fate. The encounter with Sarah and the menacing figure had left him shaken to the core. Who was that figure, and what horrors lurked in the shadows of that desolate road? As he continued his night drive, haunted by what he had witnessed, Kevin vowed to uncover the truth behind the enigmatic Sarah and the malevolent presence that had crossed their path. Little did he know that the journey to unravel the mystery would lead him down a path of darkness, where the line between reality and nightmares would blur. The encounter with Sarah and the mysterious figure left Kevin sleepless and consumed by an insatiable curiosity. Determined to uncover the truth, he delved into research, scouring local records and speaking with locals who might have had similar experiences. The pieces of a dark puzzle began to come together, revealing a series of unexplained disappearances along that desolate road. Rumors whispered of a malevolent presence that haunted the area, a vengeful spirit seeking souls to torment. Kevin's investigation led him to a small town nestled near the road, where he hoped to find answers. The townsfolk greeted Kevin's inquiries with guarded silence and haunted gazes. They spoke of a tragic incident that had occurred years ago, a terrible accident that claimed the lives of several innocent people. It was said that their restless spirits now haunted the road, seeking redemption or revenge. Undeterred, Kevin ventured deeper into the town's history, discovering a long-forgotten legend. It spoke of a cursed land, a place tainted by unspeakable horrors. The road he had traveled upon was said to be a portal to a realm of darkness, where lost souls and malevolent entities roamed. Armed with this newfound knowledge, Kevin resolved to confront the darkness head-on. Night after night, he returned to the road, braving its haunted stretches in search of answers. Each drive became a descent into the abyss, where the boundary between the living and the dead blurred. One moonless night, as Kevin navigated the winding road, a spectral figure materialized in front of his car. It was Sarah, her eyes filled with torment. She reached out, pleading for help, but her voice was drowned by an otherworldly wail that echoed through the night. Driven by a mix of fear and determination, Kevin stepped out of the car and approached the apparition. As he reached out to touch her ethereal form, a surge of energy coursed through him, bridging the gap between the living and the dead. He could now see and hear the tormented souls that haunted the road, their anguished cries filling his ears. In a moment of profound clarity, Kevin understood that these souls were trapped in a cycle of pain and despair. They sought release, a chance to find peace and move on, and it was up to him to break the curse and offer them salvation. With unwavering resolve, Kevin embarked on a quest to uncover the source of the curse and lift its hold on the land. Guided by the restless spirits, he unearthed long-forgotten rituals and sacred relics that held the key to their liberation. In a climactic confrontation, Kevin confronted the malevolent entity that had unleashed this darkness upon the road. Armed with ancient knowledge and the strength of the spirits who stood by his side, he banished the entity back to the realm from whence it came. As the darkness lifted, the road returned to its tranquil state. The lost souls found solace and ascended to a realm of eternal peace. Kevin, forever changed by his harrowing experiences, carried their memories in his heart. Driving along the road once more, Kevin felt a profound sense of closure and tranquility. The night no longer held the same terrors. Instead, it became a reminder of the resilience of the human spirit and the power of compassion. And so, the night drive that began with fear and uncertainty ended with triumph and redemption. Kevin had faced the darkest depths of the abyss and emerged with a renewed appreciation for life's fragility and the strength that lies within us all. Matt was an adventurous soul, always seeking excitement in life. One fateful night, he found himself cruising down a desolate road in the heart of the countryside. The moon was hidden behind dark clouds, casting an eerie glow on the landscape. The occasional gust of wind whispered through the trees, adding an extra layer of unease to the night. Matt's headlights cut through the darkness, illuminating the winding road ahead. As he drove deeper into the night, he couldn't shake off the feeling that he was being watched. The silence seemed almost suffocating, broken only by the sound of his own heartbeat. Suddenly, a figure emerged from the shadows, standing right in the middle of the road. Startled, Matt slammed on the brakes, bringing the car to a screeching halt. He peered through the windshield, his heart pounding in his chest. The figure appeared to be a woman, dressed in a tattered white gown that billowed in the wind. Her eyes were vacant, and her expression was hauntingly sorrowful. "Are you all right?" Matt called out, his voice trembling slightly. The woman didn't respond. Instead, she began to walk slowly toward the car, her bare feet making soft thumps on the pavement. Fear gripped Matt's heart as he fumbled for his phone, considering whether to call the police or simply drive away. But something about the woman's demeanor tugged at his empathy, urging him to stay and help. As she drew closer, Matt noticed something unusual. The woman's gown was stained with dirt and what appeared to be dried blood. Goosebumps prickled on his skin as he tried to make sense of the situation. With trembling hands, he opened the car door and stepped out. "Ma'am, are you in trouble? Do you need any help?" he asked, his voice barely above a whisper. The woman continued to approach, her gaze fixed on him. A faint, sad smile played on her lips. Matt's heart raced, unsure of what to expect. The woman reached out, her icy hand gently resting on his arm. He shivered at her touch, feeling an inexplicable connection. "I need to find my way home," she whispered, her voice barely audible. Matt's mind raced as he pondered the mysterious woman's request. He couldn't leave her stranded on this deserted road, but he also couldn't shake off the feeling that something was terribly wrong. Nevertheless, he made up his mind. "Get in the car. I'll take you home," Matt said, his voice filled with determination. The woman nodded, and together they climbed into the car. The engine roared to life as Matt accelerated back onto the road. The night seemed even darker now, as if a heavy fog had settled upon them, obscuring the path ahead. Matt stole glances at the woman, hoping to catch a glimpse of her story. But she remained silent, lost in her thoughts. He decided to respect her privacy, focusing on the road instead. As they traveled deeper into the night, a strange unease settled over Matt. He couldn't shake off the feeling that they were being followed. Glancing into the rearview mirror, he caught sight of a pair of glowing eyes, seemingly floating in the darkness. Panic seized him, and he accelerated, desperate to outrun whatever was behind them. Matt's heart pounded in his chest as he pushed the car to its limits, trying to escape the mysterious pursuer. The road stretched out before him, seemingly endless, while the eyes in the rearview mirror remained ever present, fixed upon them. The woman beside him gripped the seat, her face etched with fear. Matt could sense that there was more to her story than she had let on. With determination, he made a split-second decision. He veered off the main road, onto a narrow, winding path that led into a dense forest. Branches scraped against the car's exterior as they plunged deeper into the woods. The headlights illuminated the twisting trees, casting eerie shadows that seemed to dance around them. Matt's hands trembled on the steering wheel, his mind racing for a plan. Suddenly, the pursuer revealed itself. A massive black wolf emerged from the darkness, its eyes glinting with an otherworldly intensity. It let out a haunting howl that reverberated through the night, causing Matt's blood to run cold. He knew they were facing a force beyond his comprehension. The wolf lunged at the car, its claws scraping against the metal. Matt swerved, narrowly avoiding the creature's attack. Adrenaline surged through his veins as he focused on evading their relentless pursuer. The woman beside him seemed to be praying silently, her lips moving in desperate whispers. Time seemed to blur as they raced through the labyrinthine forest. The wolf persisted, relentless in its pursuit. Matt's mind was consumed with fear, yet he couldn't abandon the woman who had mysteriously appeared in his life. He had to protect her at all costs. In a moment of desperation, Matt spotted a narrow ravine up ahead. With little time to think, he maneuvered the car towards it, taking a leap of faith. The car soared through the air, its suspension creaking under the strain. They landed with a jolt, but miraculously, the car remained intact. As they landed, the woman let out a cry, both of fear and relief. Matt glanced at her, realizing that her anguish ran deeper than what he had initially perceived. There was a tragic story hidden within those sorrowful eyes, and he vowed to unravel the truth. Pushing forward, they continued their journey. The wolf's pursuit seemed to wane, as if it were bound by an invisible barrier. The forest thinned out, revealing the moonlit clearing ahead. Matt's heart leaped with hope. Maybe they were finally free from the clutches of the enigmatic creature. As they emerged into the clearing, a dilapidated house stood before them, its windows shattered and its doors creaking in the wind. The woman gasped, her grip tightening on Matt's arm. Without a word, they stepped out of the car and approached the house. Inside, the air was thick with the scent of decay and the remnants of a forgotten past. The woman's grip loosened, and she slowly made her way towards a framed photograph on the mantel. Matt followed, his curiosity piqued. The photograph depicted the woman, youthful and radiant, standing beside a man with kind eyes and a warm smile. A sense of recognition washed over Matt. The woman turned to face him, tears streaming down her face. "I died here, Matt," she whispered, her voice trembling with emotion. "This was my home. I've been trapped in the darkness, seeking my way back ever since." Matt's heart sank as he realized the depth of her sorrow. He had unknowingly embarked on a journey that transcended the boundaries of life and death. Together, they had faced the unknown, fighting for freedom and redemption. With newfound determination, Matt vowed to help her find peace. He would uncover the secrets of the house, confront the darkness that held her captive, and guide her back home, where she truly belonged. As they stood in the dilapidated house, hand in hand, the moon emerged from behind the clouds, casting a gentle glow upon their path. They were ready to face the horrors that awaited them and rewrite their intertwined destinies. And so, their night drive turned into a haunting journey of love, loss, and redemption, an extraordinary tale that would etch itself into their souls forever.